Look, I know why a lot of you clicked on this video. You want to know, is the cost of college going to go down this fall? The cost of going to college is huge. But the cost of providing college education is actually even huger. If we move to entirely online education, I do think it would be a fair bit cheaper to provide, and tuition would probably go down. It would also probably be a fair bit worse, and the overall impact on demand is not at all clear what would happen. And I don't mean just that there would be more online education. That part's obvious. First, there's probably going to be fewer people on campus. There's probably going to be a lot more students trying to start college a year later, or taking a semester off, taking a year off to try to get back to a normal experience. Second, there are probably going to be fewer huge classes, the kind of classic introductory lecture courses. You're going to have to be respecting social distancing rules, so they're not going to be able to sit next to one another. And that might very well mean that it's harder to get into the introductory classes that you need to do your major. And third, college is going to involve more isolation and probably be less fun than normal if we come back in the fall. Okay, let's talk about virtual learning for a second. Schools engaged in a massive experiment with online education as the COVID pandemic broke out. And they got kind of mixed reviews. Almost everybody prefers regular college to online college. In a way, the online education experiment played into some of the problematic disparities that already existed in the rest of the economy. The COVID virus hit the higher education sector right in its weak spot. As people went back home, schools realized that there's massive inequities. In some of them, the kids had to start working full time to try to make up for lost family income. We've spent the last many years arguing about disparities and whether the top colleges are increasingly reserved just for kids of high-income families who have privileges already. In many ways, the COVID crisis, forcing college to be online and forcing us into unusual circumstances, has made that income disparity problem even worse. Think about this. The big majority of students at colleges and universities go to public schools that are run by the state, like UCLA or UC San Diego, not to private schools like USC or Stanford. And the thing about the public schools is that the states provide a significant chunk of their budget, and when we go into downturns, the states tend to start cutting the amount of money that they give to the schools. Here's the challenge facing schools and universities. If they don't get the enrollment, then their tuition revenue dries up. And if they don't have the revenue, then they've got to find somewhere to cut cost. And a lot of their expenses are big fixed costs that aren't easy to cut. And so if you look at things like financial aid, that's one of the biggest expenses that schools have, and it's definitely in jeopardy when they get into a revenue problem. You could see this snowball in a negative way where they cut financial aid so fewer people want to enroll and go to school, and so that just starts the whole cycle feeding on itself. The schools desperately want to reopen in the fall, if only to get the tuition revenue. But there's the rub. Nobody knows if they'll be able to do it. The schools cannot reopen unless they can control the rate of spread of the virus. There is one potential bright spot. Colleges and universities are some of our most innovative places in the entire country, and they're trying to develop new tests and new systems to control the rate of spread of the virus. At UC San Diego, for example, they say that they've got tests that they can just use water from the sewer pipes to tell whether people in dorms or in specific rooms have got the disease. If these universities are able to come back in the fall and operate in a way through testing, tracing, controls that the virus does not spread, that could really be a lesson that could be used throughout the economy and might end up being a real boon to our economic growth.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.